So today we are looking at the law of flexibility. The law of flexibility. This is one of the most powerful laws when it comes to success in career and business. If you want to become the person that has the ability to combat any challenge that rises before you as a business builder, as a career manifestor, you need to master how to engineer and use the law of flexibility to your advantage. According to this law, success is best achieved. I like the word best. Success is best achieved when you are clear about the goal, you are very certain about the goal, you are clear about your path, you're clear about your dream, you're very clear about the vision that you have, your career vision, your business vision, and you are flexible about the process of getting there. Number one, you are clear about something. You are certain about something, but you are flexible about the strategies, about the process, about the tacticals of getting there. That is the law of flexibility. You have ascertained that as an individual, this is my dream. This is my purpose. My mission as an entrepreneur is to build an innovative company in this industry. And by 2030, 2035, we should have 8 branches and have 1,000 employees and serving 2 million customers and so on and so forth. But this goal is established and is so strong in my heart and is well written down in our strategic document. But I am very open. I am very open and I'm flexible because I believe that I will need different ideas, different people, different strategies to get in there. I cannot be static. People who are static when it comes to strategy, when it comes to the process of achieving their dreams and goals, always fall short when it comes to the achievement. And they always end up depressed, struggled, and in pain because they have just one way of thinking. And when the main way of thinking is not able to produce the kind of results that they expected, they feel as if they're a failure. But we are in a society and we as human beings, we do not have the power to determine how everything should work out. You don't have that power. You are not God. We should plan for tomorrow, yes, but tomorrow has a way that it will manifest. And it is your responsibility as a professional to master the art of agility, the art of adapting, and not reactively adapting, but proactively adapting, anticipating what may or may not happen, and you proactively start changing to take advantage of that particular situation. The law of flexibility. Success is best achieved when you are clear about the goal, you're clear about your dream, you're clear about your vision, you're clear about your journey and your path. But you are very intentional and you have this open mind that you will be flexible about the process of achieving your dream. Oh, let's say you're going to succeed. Like in Cameroon, there are many young people that they are so frustrated because since they were not able to travel out of the country, they think that they're already failures. According to them, there's no other way to succeed in life. Oh, there are many young Cameroonians who are stranded because they think since they were not able to get a government concours and work with the government and get a government magical, they are already a failure. Now, they are no longer thinking, okay, how can I take advantage of the private sector? How can I take advantage of another opportunity? How can I take advantage of agriculture? How can I take advantage of technology? How can I take advantage of whatever is available, make it incredible, and become a thought leader in that particular sector? Many young people are stranded and seemingly looking like failures, not because they cannot succeed, but because they are stagnant. They have only one way to make it. I have seen young people that all they wait year in, year out, are government concourse. They don't apply for jobs in the private sector. I know young people that they have tried Canada, they cannot travel. They have tried America, they cannot go. They have tried Sweden, they cannot go. They have tried all kinds of countries, they cannot go. And they don't apply for jobs. They don't start a business. They are only waiting for the next line to go abroad. Like they're always writing me, I beg, give me line, show me line, show me this, show me that. I say, I don't know line. The only line I know is that go to the embassy where you want to travel and apply for visa. Right? So, but they have now so reduced themselves to just one way of making it, and they feel depressed. Same for some entrepreneurs. Some entrepreneurs just feel that there's only one way, the only way they know how to build a business, that's the only way that they reach. No, there are many other ways that you can make that dream a reality. You can make that business a reality. Things will not always go the way you plan. Instead of crying, find better ways to make them work. Yes, you're going to plan things and they will not work the way you plan them. But it is your responsibility to find better ways to still achieve that same goal. That is why somebody once said, it is okay to change the strategy and the goal remains the same. Oh, yes. I have done that several times. I have always had one single goal, but in the last 11 years, I've gone through different strategies, different processes to achieve the goals that I have for myself. It is possible to have one goal for 30 years and have 300 different ways of trying to achieve that particular one goal. We are now in the dispensation of flexibility and agility. Static people will struggle in this particular dispensation. This is the fastest paced marketplace in the history of the earth since Jesus Christ came and left. This is the fastest pace. The marketplace changes at a very fast speed. Many people may not realize, if you are like in smaller towns, you will not realize what I'm saying. But when you're in bigger cities, or when you travel to bigger cities like Istanbul to Berlin in Germany, to New York in the US, or to UK, or to Dubai, UAE, when you get to see how things change, you get to see how companies influence change month after month. You get to see how governments are releasing laws like every week, every January, every June, every November, there's a new law enhancing the marketplace and changing things. Things are changing so fast. So you need to be ready to always proactively adapt and be agile when it comes to the achievement of your goals. You should not be static. And this is one of the best ways to conquer depression and struggle. The most optimistic and creative people are those who are open, flexible, and fluid in the face of the inevitable. Hear that again. The most optimistic and creative people. One sign that you are a positive, optimistic, and creative person is that you are very open-minded. You are not static. You don't look at things only in one direction. You don't think that there is only one way to achieve something. No, then you are not creative. You are not optimistic. You are not open. One sign that you are a creative thinker, one sign that you are an optimistic professional is that you are open, you are flexible, and you're fluid in the face of the inevitable, because tomorrow will bring uncertainty. Tomorrow will bring inevitable actions. The only way that you can beat the inevitable is for you to be flexible and agile in the face of inevitability and continual changes before you can achieve your goal. The continued experience of resistance and frustration is often an indication that you are doing the wrong thing. This is one thing I like about this law. Let me tell you something. One of the fastest ways to enhance growth in your career is when you keep putting in some strategies. Yes, I recognize there's a place of learning and training. But look, there's a moment whereby if you have done some, like I always tell people, if you start a business in 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, don't complain that you are not succeeding. From research and from my personal opinion, you see something that you have done for 3 years as a business or a career, and you are not able to start seeing little successes, not talk of medium or big success, just little successes, you are doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong. That's the meaning of this statement. The continued experience of resistance and frustration. That means you are doing something, your career, your business, you keep on experiencing resistance, you keep on experiencing failure, you keep on experiencing frustration. You have done something for 4 years, 3 years, you can only see a tangible, you cannot see significant results. It is often an indication that you're doing the wrong thing. And that's the power of the law of flexibility. Like what happened last year. When I worked with some 6 mentees, and the condition was that they have been doing business, so I don't know, it was 1 year or 2 years. I said, you've been doing business for more than 1 year or so, and you have never saved cash. You have never made sales like that many times, and you have been able to save your first 1 million cash, that's your money. Let's work together. And many of them were able to achieve their first 1 million before November. It was not because their idea was wrong. It was not because they were not selling the right product in the right market. There was just some things that they were not doing right which made them to face resistance. Many people are not making money because they are facing resistance. Maybe they have inadequate knowledge. Inadequate knowledge will result to resistance, will result to frustration, will result to failure. And anytime that you have done, that's why, like me, for example, when I embark on any project, I always have deadlines. And one of the reasons of deadlines is to measure myself and see if I start this thing and it will not break even in 8 months or 1 year, I'm doing something wrong. If I start this and in the fit, like for example, we do a lot of trainings. Teresh can tell you, we do a lot of trainings. I always have days where if I launch a training today, I always have like, okay, if in the fit day, we don't have this number of people, something is wrong in our marketing, something is wrong in our messaging, something is wrong somewhere, and we always correct it and we get the result. It's been a while that I launched a training. This is several years I launched a training and I don't have it sold out. There are a lot of things, you put all these metrics in place. This is very deep things that you put in your business, your career, you'll be amazed at the kind of growth. And you always make changes at the right time, at the right place, because you know that you look at the way things happen and say, no, this kind of resistance, this kind of frustration is not normal. By this time, by this deadline, I should be manifesting this kind of results. And sometimes it also helps you to relax and know that you are still in your season of training and perfection and maturity. Even personally in my career, there are certain things I knew that they will not happen in my career until 2020. In 2015, part of my life plan had a lot of things I wrote down that I want to start seeing happen in my career from 2020 and above. Even right now, if I show you my life plan, you'll see certain things that I have anticipated to happen in my business and my career just from 2030. Oh yes, there are things you get to anticipate, and you set those kind of deadlines, and you start tracking your actions. And when resistance starts rising towards that date, frustrations are rising towards that date, you start noticing there's something you are not doing right as an expert, as a professional, as an entrepreneur. So remember this from today. The continued experience of resistance and frustration is often an indication that you are doing the wrong thing. But this experience, this frustration and resistance is backed by actions and some deadlines that you get to measure. I was talking to one of my managers yesterday, a few days back, and I was telling her, I'm even surprised, one of our businesses. I told her that I anticipated that we are going to break even in this business after 12 months. But the business was able to break even and start paying its own staff from the 8th month or so. I was telling her, I'm really proud of what the team has achieved so far. I gave her those dates. Those were my calculations. And in my mind, I didn't know that, okay, you know what, if this business clocks 12 months and it is not able to break even, it cannot pay its own bill, it cannot pay its own staff, then that's already resistance and frustration. Then something is wrong. I need to go back to the drawing board. The strategy is wrong. The products will be having issues. The way we approach customers will be wrong. There are a lot of things that we need to go back to these elements and begin to analyze them and restructure them. So let me ask you a question. Is there something you have been doing for a while? Did you have plans? Do you have deadlines? Are you facing some sort of failures and resistance and frustrations? Do you feel that you are not performing and achieving at the level where you have been expecting? Something is wrong somewhere. You need to go back to the drawing board, reanalyze yourself, check your skills, check your knowledge, check your strategies, check your tacticals, check whatever that you have been doing in the last 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever, and begin to reconstruct, begin to rebuild, begin to re-strategize, begin to be flexible and agile in the process. And trust me, a lot will definitely change. Whenever you feel that you are trying too hard and getting few results, hear this. Whenever you feel that you're trying too hard and getting few results, be prepared to stand back and re-examine your plan. Be sure that the goal that you are working towards is still the goal that you desire. Be sure that the strategy you are implementing is still the right strategy to produce that kind of result. We all are going to feel like that. Even the Dangotes and the Bill Gates, they have felt like that before. Oh, I was reading a story. I looked at, many of you know, I looked at analyze business. Some of the top companies in the world have analyzed all their business cases and know what they did and what they didn't do right and what made them where they are. There was a time that Bill Gates was worried about the growth of Microsoft, of Windows 10. Something is wrong. The acceptance is not the way we anticipated. What are we not doing right? They went back to the drawing board. Even the Apples, they did that. The acceptance, the rate is not the way we expected. By this time, we should have sold 1 million pieces of this iPhone. What's going wrong? They went back to the drawing board. Whenever you feel that you are trying too hard, you have put in the money, you have invested time, hard work, sleepless night, you have burned the midnight candles, you have gone up and down, and you feel that you're trying too hard and getting too few results, be prepared to stand back and re-examine your plan. And let me tell you, there's a lot of blessings in re-examining your plans. And this is where most people get to look for other experts or talk to models and mentors and role models and people who have more experience than them to open their minds to certain things. To open their minds to certain things that they don't understand. Because at this particular point, it's already one sign that what you know cannot get you to where you desire to go. So you need a higher level of revelation and teaching to enhance your success. So it's something that you need to be certain about. There are many people that they have been in business for 10 years, 15 years. They cannot show results that make sense. There's no significant track record. Your knowledge may be inadequate. Your strategies may be archaic. The tools you are using may be late. They're no longer relevant in this present dispensation. But until somebody holds your hand and open you up to what is in play right now, you will always struggle. Consider the possibility that your chosen strategy may be wrong one for this situation. Be prepared to reconsider and change your approach. Especially get your ego out of the way. That's one thing. Many people don't want to submit and learn. Somebody drew from Yaoundé the other day and came to my office. And he has invested a lot in his company. And he was very, very sincere, very, very sincere. And he was talking to somebody, like very talented, intelligent guy, somebody that's worked with, top companies around. And he was talking with the famous Dr. Stanley, very good, incredible man, Dr. Stanley, for someone you who may know in Yaoundé, but in Mongwe Stanley, just call him Dr. Stanley. And they were talking to Dr. Stanley, and Dr. Stanley said, this year problem like this, have you spoken to Joybert? That was like sometimes last year. I think he can sort you out. Have you go for his coaching session? He can sort you out. And the guy said, that guy cannot do anything for me, right? And the guy turned. Like few months. I think he said this the thing happened last year. Few months again, he was still struggled and stranded and all of that. And they decided to reach out. We spoke and said, okay, I'm not in the country right now. When I come back, talk. He booked a session. When I come back, we had a meeting. The guy said, if I saw you straight the messages, you would just die of a lot of fun and a lot of regrets and a lot of many things. He shared a lot of many things that I also learned a lot from it. I did learn a lot. Ego can ego can hold you back for 10 years. Ego can hold you back for 10 years. We need to be careful about our ego, especially people who think that they're intelligent. Yes, people who think that they're intelligent or they know too much tend to have a lot of ego. So they find it difficult to ask for help when they need it or when they are messing up. So it is very important to know that sometimes your ego can get in the way of your own success, because the knowledge and your way of doing things may not be right. It may not be true. It may not be the best way that can build the kind of stuff you want to build. And until you are able to accept external support and advice, you are going to struggle. And it is wisdom for you to know where you are weak and let somebody who is an expert in that area step in and do what he or she can do best. Retract your step, set back and do that, right? So, like personally, for example, there's Mavis in this call. Mavis is so good when it comes to the tax law, the finance law, and all this accounting stuff, all of that. Yeah, I know some stuff, but when I'm in front of her, I don't know nothing. I'm asking all the most stupid questions. That's the best way to learn and to do it right. You know, there's this company there are a few of these companies in this country that had issues, or some are having issues and some are struggling trying to stand back. There was one popular one that I reached out to the founder and I said, I've analyzed your model of doing this, all of that. I think the following stuff are not being done right. And I think if you continue like this, it's going to affect the sustainability of your business. I was just being too I was talking in a diplomat way. I didn't want to say that your company may crash or may start falling if you don't sort these kind of things out. So your sustainability will be questionable if you continue doing things the way you are doing. And the gentleman boldly told me that I am also a business trainer, so I know what I am doing. I said, okay, I just wanted to share as a friend. I thought maybe you may not be seeing it. You can get very busy managing your business and you may not see some things on the outside. You may not see some things on the outside. And you know, and that's one thing for entrepreneurs. If you're running a business and you're an expert also, be careful. It's good to always have an external eye. Even me, I have sometimes I just invite a friend to say, come and look at the systems. Just come and look at the business in my absence. I always do that. Invite my friends to come and look. Just look at some things in my absence. Just look at the whole stuff. Tell me what do you think is not going right? Just do internal control. Tell me what is not going right. It's very important. That's part of the law of flexibility. It's same like for your careers. You have been applying for jobs day in, day out, year after year. You are not getting jobs. You're not being called for interviews. You have not said, okay, please, can somebody else look at my CV with another perspective? Let me ask questions about how to prepare for an interview. Is there something I'm not doing right in how to look for a job in this country or international job? You have not asked for it. Your ego is on the way because you think you have a tattered master's degree. You think that you know everything in career. No, you don't. Nobody does. That's why the great Dangotes and the Bill Gates have like 5 and 6 and 10 business consultants and coaches on their payroll to tell them what to anticipate, what to look at, and what not to look at. Even though they are smart businessmen, but they still hire smarter heads to be able to help them do that. Knowledge is a critical part when it comes to the law of flexibility. Develop the mindset of the computer programmer. When a computer programmer designs a computer program or a software, he knows that the program will be full of bugs when it is completed. Bugs are things that can disturb the program from performing very well. No computer program ever works perfectly the first time it is designed. However, the programmer accepts this as a fact of life and then begins to go back through the program line after line to remove the defects. When the programmer is finished, the program will operate perfectly. So you need to always have the mindset of a programmer. When you're doing something or when you design a project, whatever you're working on, always go back, reevaluate, reanalyze. And there's something programmers always do. If you're somebody who is very conscious, when you visit websites, you always see that in some websites, programmers always add a clause at the bottom, report bugs, report challenges, report this. Because there are things that even though they are intelligent programmers and designers, there are things that they will not see. So they are probably saying that, look, I am not perfect. I cannot see everything. So while you are using the website, if you see any bug, if you see any challenge, please talk to me, report it to me, send me an email, let me go and correct it, because I am not the best. I am not that good. I am not this or that. That is a lot of power. That's a lot of maturity in that. I want to check a popular website and show you this practically so you see what I'm talking about. That's a lot of maturity, right? Now, programmers are some of the most intelligent human beings on earth. People who build these platforms like the Zoom platform, computer programs that we use, all these apps, they are very intelligent people, very intelligent. But these people are still so humble that they always indicate on their website, report bugs, report challenges that you're facing so that we can correct. That is just saying that, look, I am flexible, I am not the best at this thing, and I am not good that much, although you may think I'm intelligent, but please help me. If you're using the platform and you see a challenge, please help me to correct this particular challenge so that I can help you to also use the platform efficiently. Okay, I'm not seeing that. I really want to show you so you see how they always do this. It's so amazing, and I really always learn about that. That's some level of humility, some level of maturity also, knowing that, hey, you know, despite that, I can use all of this and build stuff. You can always report to us. Okay, just a moment. Sometimes it's more practical and powerful when people see something. Let me try this website. Okay, I'm finding it difficult to see. That's fine. Let's proceed. All right, so always think like a programmer and be ready to know that you can always freely ask for help for people to do that. Whenever your plans do not seem to be bearing fruit, instead of pushing harder, stop and reevaluate the situation. This is a core advice when it comes to the law of flexibility. Whenever your plans do not seem to be bearing fruit, instead of pushing harder, instead of being in high speed in the wrong direction with no result, stop, reevaluate the situation, reevaluate your knowledge, reevaluate your skills, reevaluate your resources, reevaluate your processes, reevaluate your policies, reevaluate if you're in sync with the basic laws in that particular environment. Consider the possibility that you could be wrong in your present course of action. Yes, consider the possibility that you could be wrong in your present course of action. Revise your plans continually until they are faultless. Yes, consistently revise your plans. Consistently make sure that you are revisiting your plans until they are faultless. Your freedom and happiness are largely determined by the number of alternatives that you have developed in case your first choice doesn't work. Your freedom and happiness. This is especially for business people, especially for business people. Your freedom in business and your happiness in business are largely determined by the number of alternatives that you have developed in case your first choice doesn't work. Yeah. They're going to have some level of, see, in business and even in career, anything can happen. Anything can happen and you lose all your money, all your savings. Your business can crumble. A government in a particular country can shut down your business at any time if you don't meet the laws. Anything can happen. You need to answer. These things are possibilities. But hey, there's a law of flexibility that is teaching you about plan B. You can have plan B when it comes to strategy and processes, but have plan A when it comes to your goals and your dreams and purpose. You have only one goal that you want to chase for the rest of your life, but you have from plan B to plan Z on how you're going to achieve that particular goal. Like I was telling some entrepreneurs, like let me go like to finance. You're going to be running a business and you're serious about business and you don't have a reserve account in at least more than one bank. That's stupidity. What if one of the banks, what if the only bank where you keep your money dies tomorrow? What are you going to do? You're totally frustrated. Or it's like people go and take all their money and they put all these funny investment companies around. And then when they crash or they stop paying, you start crying up and down. But there are people that still have money there, but they're not bothered. You know why? Their happiness and freedom is intact because they had alternatives. Like many of my clients who are doing better right now, I push them now to create dollar accounts. I push them to create accounts in different countries. Don't just have an account in Cameroon. That's short-sightedness. That's alternative. That's being flexible. There are someone pushing them. You're able to have money, get a resident permit in another country. Get a resident permit in Rwanda, get a resident permit in Kenya, get it in Nigeria, get it in Sweden, get it in any Eastern European country. That is thinking smart. You can leave, what if something is wrong in Cameroon? What is political issues? What are you going to do? You can relocate to that particular country. You're not going to be broken down because there's nothing else to do. And that's why when you start making a little money, it's not time to enjoy. It's time to re-strategize. It's time to lay a stronger foundation for yourself. It's time to be deep. You see, there are some people that when they start making a little money, they just make some funny decisions and they go back to square one and they're broke again because they didn't build it right. They were not thinking straight. They didn't have alternatives. And that's why many people don't have freedom, because you have only one alternative. You have only one way of doing it. The law of flexibility is not yet in play. Your freedom and happiness are largely determined by the number of alternatives that you have developed in case your first choice doesn't work. Oh, yes. If one course of action doesn't develop as you expected, you will be fully prepared to switch to something else. Crisis is change trying to take place. Always remember this. Anytime you're in crisis, check carefully. This change trying to take place. You've got to initiate some changes. If you're having financial crisis, so there's a lesson there to learn to change how you manage your finances. If you're a business person and you're struggling, you're having crisis and having new customers, check. There's change. The way you're acquiring new customers is not the best. Change it. It's the same like in marriage or relationship. Maybe it used to be a very beautiful relationship. Now it's no longer beautiful. Maybe you need to change how you guys do romance, whatever that you guys do, right? Any crisis is change trying to take place. Don't always look like just problems. Crises are not just problems where you need to cry and whine and blame A and blame B and go up and calm down. Maybe there's change crying for you. Look at it clearly, detailedly. What can I do to influence change in this particular situation? Whenever you experience a crisis or a roadblock of any kind, stand back for a moment and ask yourself this $1 million question. What change is trying to take place here? What is the message contained in this crisis? Whenever you experience a crisis or roadblock of any kind in your career and business, the challenge for you is stand back for a moment. It's not a time for you to cry and moan and say, oh, blame people. No, stand back for a moment. Ask yourself questions or talk to somebody. Ask this important question. What change is trying to take place in this particular season? What is the message for me? What is the message for my future contained in this particular crisis? You may be having a crisis in your work. You may be having a crisis in your relationship. You may have a crisis in your health, crisis in your business. In almost every case, a crisis is an indication that something is definitely wrong and that pursuing the same course of action will only make it worse. In almost every case, remember this, everybody, in almost every case, a crisis is an indication that something is definitely wrong and that pursuing the same course of action will only make it worse. It's like somebody who is growing fat every day. You're only eating and growing fat. Now your health is at risk. You're only eating. You're not changing. You're only eating. You're not making your mind, you know what, let me stop. Let me start doing some exercises. Let me start doing some push-ups. Let me start doing some lift-ups. Let me start doing some jogging. No, you are not changing the course of action. You are in the same course. It will only make it worse. It's like you're not able to make money. You're not able to have a stable financial life. But you're only doing the same thing you've been doing last year. 2 years ago, you're in the same thing. You're not changing. You're not learning something new. You're on the same knowledge. You're in the same course. You're only going to make your financial life worse. In almost every case, a crisis is an indication that something is definitely wrong and that pursuing the same course of action will almost make it worse. Almost every failure you experience will be because of an incorrect assumption that you have made and accepted without question. It is helpful for you to clarify and question your assumptions. Yes, the law of flexibility encourages the questioning of assumptions. Like that's why in business, I don't write business plans about the end of my ideas. I believe more in business model canvassing and idea validation because it is through these tools that I can question the businesses and I see the loopholes. Business plan is more of assumptions. Make sure that you do things that can question your assumptions. Test your assumptions. It's very important. Learn how to question your assumptions, especially when things are not going as well as you expected. Hear that again. Make sure that you clarify and question your assumptions. There are many of you doing things that all you did was assume and then you embarked on that journey. You are still forcefully taking actions on assumptions. Maybe it's time for you to question your assumptions because things are not going as we expected. Your willingness to question your assumptions, to test your assumptions against your reality, and combined with your willingness to accept the possibility that you could be wrong is the kind of attitude that will ultimately lead you to great achievements. Hear that again. Your willingness as an entrepreneur, as a working professional, as a student, in whatever that you do, your willingness to question your assumptions, to test your assumptions against reality, and combined with the willingness to accept the possibility that you could be wrong is the kind of attitude that will ultimately lead to great achievements. That's why, like somebody like me, for example, if you assume something about me, for example, and I tell you, no, this is the reality, this is my perspective from my end, and you continuously depend on your assumption and emphasize certain things, I will just stay quiet. Like I've done that with many clients. Sometimes they assume a lot of things. I come as an expert and buy some couple of things. Okay, this is wrong, what happened, what. I tell you, this is what you need to start doing. And you start arguing and say, okay, no, you know, this is what I was thinking. You know, somebody pays for coaching and comes and wants to be the coach again. No, this is what I was assuming and thinking. And somebody says the word assuming and thinking as in the discussion. I'm like, can you hear yourself talk? I'm telling you from facts and research and analysis. And I've used tools that you don't have access to because it's not your field. You are still telling me, oh, you know, I assumed, I was thinking, I was checking that, I sometimes just stay quiet and I allow you to consistently assume and keep having the same results. Somebody like me, I don't know how to over-convince somebody to say, okay, no, if I communicate you the facts and you hear and you don't accept it, okay, you have made your decision, because information should lead to decision making. Your willingness to question your assumptions and to test your assumptions against reality. Very important. Always learn to test your assumptions against reality. Don't just assume and go implement. You will crash. Combine the testing of your assumptions with the willingness to accept the possibility that you could be wrong. Is the kind of attitude that will ultimately lead you to great achievement. Flexibility is perhaps the most important single quality you can develop to succeed in business and in your career in this fast-changing economy. It is the mark of superior thinking. Hear that again. Flexibility, agility, dynamism is the mark of superior thinking. One sign that you're a superior thinker, you're an excellent executive, is the ability that you have to be flexible in your strategies and your processes. My charge to you is identify your most cherished assumptions. What are those things that you have been assuming in your career and your business? Identify them, write them down, and begin to ask yourself the following questions around those assumptions. What if they were wrong? What would you do differently from what you have been doing today? What are your options? Sit down with these questions, break it down, think on paper. Don't think with hands on your jaws. Think on paper and begin to analyze, begin to break it down. And trust me, you will have excellent results. Remember, success is best achieved when you are clear about the goal and flexible about the process of getting the goal. And then you will be able to manifest the most beautiful career and business that you have. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you for following, and we can have some chit chat and questions and round up the session for today. Cheers.